Letting go of someone is one of the hardest decisions we can make in life. No matter how aware we are that it is the best choice for us, there's always something inside us that resists, that pulls us back and keeps us tied. Carl Jung, the visionary who transformed modern psychology, offered us a fascinating perspective on this process, showing us that letting go is not just an act of renunciation, but a profound spiritual movement that allows us to reconnect with our essence. Think of a relationship that deeply marked you, whether for better or worse. That connection, according to Jung, was not a coincidence. Every person who enters our life is a mirror, a reflection of something we carry within us but may not have recognized. But here's the key. When that relationship no longer brings us peace, when it becomes a constant source of conflict, it is our unconscious that begins to send us signals. Those feelings of discomfort, of emotional exhaustion, are not coincidences. They are a call to let go, to release what no longer resonates with our being. Jung taught us that our unconscious is in constant communication with us, but we rarely listen. Instead of paying attention to those signals, we choose to ignore them, clinging to what is familiar, even if it is destroying us. We hold on because we fear what might come next, the emptiness we believe that person will leave behind. But what if that emptiness was not something to fear, but a sacred space where something much more authentic can bloom? Imagine for a moment that you are carrying a heavy backpack. Each day, you add something else: resentments, expectations, fears. That backpack represents the relationships that do not let you grow, the attachments that hold you back. And one day, you realize you can no longer take another step because the weight is unbearable. That is the moment when you decide to let go, not because you want to forget, not because you hate that person, but because you love your peace more than anything else. Letting go of someone does not mean that person disappears from your life or your memories. It means releasing the energy you have invested in something that is no longer aligned with you. It means giving your soul space to breathe, to expand, and to reconnect with what truly matters. It is an act of courage, of self-love, and above all, of trust that the universe has something better in store for you. Have you ever noticed that after letting go of a difficult relationship, you start to feel lighter, clearer, as if suddenly the world has more color? That is no coincidence. Jung believed that by releasing what does not belong to us, we create space for something new to enter our lives. This new energy can take the form of people, opportunities, or even a deeper understanding of ourselves. When you decide to let go, you are not only freeing the other person, you are also freeing yourself. Because many times, what binds us is not the person itself, but the emotions, memories, and projections we have placed on them. Jung said that every significant relationship is filled with symbols, and it is those symbols that truly affect us. By letting go, you are breaking those invisible chains and allowing your energy to flow freely. The key to letting go lies in looking inward. It is within us that we find the answers, the lessons, and the strength to move forward. But this is not easy. It requires facing our shadows, those parts of ourselves we would rather not see. Jung showed us that shadows are not something to fear, but an essential part of our being that needs to be integrated. And by doing so, we not only grow, but also find a peace that transcends what we once thought possible. When you decide to let go, something magical happens. It's as if the universe starts conspiring in your favor. The right people begin to appear in your life. The opportunities that once seemed unreachable are now within your grasp. And most importantly, you start to feel at peace with yourself. This is the true spiritual transformation that Jung spoke about. A return to your authenticity, your essence, that place within you where you've always known what's best for you. And although the path isn't easy, I guarantee it's worth it, because letting go doesn't mean losing. It means gaining something far more valuable: yourself. As you move forward in the process of letting go, you start to notice something curious. The initial resistance you felt begins to transform into clarity. That same relationship that once seemed essential now looks different, almost as if you were observing it from the outside. This happens because the act of letting go not only releases the other person, but also unlocks parts of yourself that were trapped. It's as if your energy, creativity, and ability to dream come back to life. Carl Jung said that true fulfillment isn't found in external things, but in internal work. And letting go is precisely that, internal work. No matter how much you try to change someone else or shape a relationship to fit your expectations, true transformation happens when you decide to change, when you choose to let go. This process won't always be linear. There will be days when you feel strong and confident, and others when you doubt your decision. But here's the secret. Those doubts aren't an obstacle. They are part of the journey. Jung taught that personal growth always involves facing the unknown, that part of ourselves we haven't explored. And it's in that exploration where magic happens. By letting go, you realize something fundamental. Peace isn't something someone else can give you, nor is it something you can find outside of yourself. Peace is a choice, a state of being that comes from accepting things as they are and trusting that the universe always has a greater plan for you. Jung called this synchronicity, the phenomenon where things seem to align perfectly. When you're in tune with yourself, you may wonder, how do I know if I really need to let someone go? The answer isn't in logic or in what others tell you. The answer lies in your intuition, that inner voice that sometimes whispers and other times we completely ignore. Jung believed our intuition is one of the most powerful channels for communicating with our unconscious. And if you feel that something no longer fits, that something no longer flows, that's your intuition speaking to you. However, it's not enough just to listen. You must act. This is where many of us fail. We cling to the familiar because we believe that letting go means failing. But that's not true. Letting go is the greatest act of courage you can take. It's telling the universe, I trust that what's coming will be better than what I'm leaving behind. And when you make that decision, doors begin to open. An interesting phenomenon Jung explored was how our energy changes after letting go. It's as if the chains that kept us bound break, allowing us to move forward into new experiences, relationships, and opportunities. But here's the most important thing. By freeing someone, you also free yourself. And in that space of freedom, you begin to reconnect with parts of yourself that you had forgotten. Think about this for a moment. How many times have you shaped your behavior, your dreams, or even your identity to fit into a relationship? How many times have you set aside your own desires for fear of losing someone? Jung would say that every time we do that, we move further away from our authenticity. And in the end, that disconnection takes a toll in the form of dissatisfaction, stress, or even illness. Letting go is not about abandoning or giving up. It is an act of self-love. It is recognizing that to be whole, you do not need anyone else to fill the voids within you. It is granting yourself permission to be who you truly are without seeking approval or offering apologies. And when you do, something beautiful happens. You begin to attract people and experiences that align with your true essence. The universe has a curious way of rewarding those who dare to let go. You may not see it immediately, but the signs will be there, an unexpected opportunity, a friendship that arises out of nowhere, or even a moment of peace that completely fills you. These are the ways in which the universe responds when you choose to trust in its flow. When you finally manage to let go, something profound begins to shift within you. That constant weight, that tension that seemed to drain all your energy, starts to fade. In its place, a sense of lightness emerges, as if you can finally take a deep breath after a long time. Jung described this transformation as a reconnection with your true essence, a return to the state of balance that we all carry within us, but often forget amidst the noise of toxic or unfulfilling relationships. It is crucial to understand that this process is not about forgetting someone or erasing their impact on your life. On the contrary, letting go means honoring what that person represented for you, being grateful for the lessons they left behind, and then allowing that connection to transform. Jung believed that every meaningful relationship serves as a kind of teacher, a guide that helps us discover aspects of ourselves that we might not have otherwise recognized. However, the true power of letting go does not lie in what you release, but in what you do with the space that remains. Often, The emptiness we fear so much is actually a blank canvas, an opportunity to rediscover who we are and what we truly want. But to seize it, we must be willing to look within, to explore the shadows that Jung considered essential for personal growth. These shadows, the parts of ourselves we prefer to avoid, are often the ones most activated in relationships. Perhaps you have noticed that certain people seem to bring out the worst in you, or that certain patterns repeat themselves over and over. Jung explained that this happens because those people and situations act as mirrors, reflecting aspects of our psyche that we need to integrate. Letting go, then, is not just an act of external release, but also a means of internal healing. Imagine you are in a river. If you cling to a rock out of fear of the current, you will remain stuck, unable to move forward. But if you decide to let go, although at first you may feel uncertain, you will soon discover that the river carries you toward new landscapes, toward calmer waters filled with possibilities. This is how life works. When you dare to let go, the natural flow of things begins to guide you toward what you truly need. And this is where something magical happens. When you stop resisting, when you choose to trust the process, the universe responds. Jung called it synchronicity. Those moments when everything seems to align perfectly as if the universe were guiding you toward the right path. Perhaps you meet someone who shares your values, or maybe an opportunity arises that feels tailor-made for you. These are not coincidences. They are signs that you are in harmony with your purpose. Letting go is not something that happens overnight. It is a process, a journey that requires patience and compassion with yourself. There will be days when you feel strong and confident in your decision, and others when doubts and memories resurface. But even in those moments of uncertainty, remember this. Every step you take toward your authenticity is a step toward a fuller and more meaningful life. Jung taught us that true fulfillment is not found in avoiding pain, but in facing it, learning from it, and allowing it to transform us. Letting go of someone can be painful, but it is also profoundly liberating. It serves as a reminder that you do not need to hold on to what no longer resonates with you, that you deserve a life filled with peace, authenticity, and true love. When you finally let go, you are not just freeing the other person. You are also releasing the version of yourself that was trapped in that relationship. You reclaim your power, your energy, and your ability to dream. And in that process, you realize something incredible. You have always had everything you need to be happy. You just had to let go of what was preventing you from seeing it. The process of letting go also confronts us with one of the most important lessons Carl Jung shared: the power of self-acceptance. Many times, the attachment we feel towards someone is not solely about love or affection, but rather a deeper need to fill an internal void. We love because, at some level, we believe that without that person, we are not enough, that our identity is incomplete. But Jung taught us that everything we seek outside is already within us. When you decide to let go, you begin to see things with greater clarity. You realize that the relationship you once thought was essential was, in many cases, merely reflecting your own fears and insecurities. That need for validation, approval, or a sense of completeness does not come from the other person. It comes from within you, and by letting go, you give yourself the greatest gift, the opportunity to work on yourself and discover that you are whole just as you are. This realization is not always easy. Jung spoke about the concept of the shadow, that part of us that contains everything we prefer not to see. When letting go of someone, especially someone with whom we shared a deep connection, that shadow often rises to the surface. You may feel fear, sadness, or even anger. But these emotions are not your enemies. They are messengers, signals that something within you needs to be acknowledged and healed. This is why letting go is not just an act of releasing another person. It is an act of facing yourself. And in that confrontation, you discover a strength you did not know you had. You realize that you can feel pain and still move forward, that you can lose something important and still find peace. This is one of Jung's deepest teachings: the resilience of the human soul, our ability to transform even in the darkest moments. It is common that, when letting go, you experience what Jung called the dark night of the soul, a period of uncertainty, of deep introspection, where it seems like everything you knew is falling apart. But this dark night is not the end. It is the prelude to a rebirth, an awakening that leads you to a more authentic version of yourself. Because in that darkness, you learn to trust yourself, to listen to yourself, and to find your own light. And when you emerge on the other side, something beautiful happens. You realize that letting go is not a loss, but a gain. You gain clarity, you gain freedom, and most importantly, you gained a deeper connection with yourself. This is the gift Carl Jung wanted us all to discover. The ability to live a life in alignment with our truth, free from the chains of attachments that limit us. The relationships that truly matter, the ones aligned with your essence, do not make you feel less. They do not ask you to sacrifice your authenticity. On the contrary, they inspire you to be more yourself, to grow, to explore your potential. And when you choose to let go of what no longer fits, you open the door for these true connections to enter your life. Jung also spoke to us about synchronicity, that phenomenon where things seem to align perfectly and magically. When you release what no longer serves you, you create space for these synchronicities to occur. It is as if the universe rewards your courage by bringing exactly what you need into your life at the right moment. You may not see it immediately, but over time, you will realize that every step you took was part of a greater plan. This process leads you to a deeper understanding of yourself and your place in the world. You no longer feel trapped in repetitive patterns or relationships that drain you. Now, you have the freedom to choose from a place of self-love and authenticity, and that freedom is transformative. As you move forward on this path of letting go, you begin to notice how your energy shifts. That constant feeling of exhaustion, that internal struggle to hold on to something that no longer resonates with you, starts to fade. In its place, a new vitality arises, a lightness that allows you to focus on what truly matters, your connection with yourself and the deeper purpose of your life. Jung spoke of how our psychic energy redistributes when we stop investing in things that are not aligned with our truth. By letting go, you release that energy, and what once seemed impossible, dreaming, creating, feeling fulfilled, now begins to flow naturally. This is not just an emotional shift. It is a spiritual transformation that affects every aspect of your life. At this point, many people experience something Jung described as the integration of shadows. By releasing what no longer serves you, you start to see with greater clarity those parts of yourself that had remained hidden. You may recognize behavioral patterns, limiting beliefs, or fears that you had not noticed before. And instead of judging them, you accept them. Because accepting your shadows is not a sign of weakness. It is an act of self-love. Jung taught us that shadows do not disappear simply because you ignore them. In fact, the more you repress them, the more power they have over you. But when you decide to face them, integrate them, and learn from them, something incredible happens. You become a more complete person. You no longer need to seek validation outside yourself, because you have found an inner peace that no one can take away from you. This process not only transforms your relationship with yourself, but also with others. When you choose to let go, you not only free the other person, but also break the patterns that kept you trapped. And in doing so, you begin to attract relationships that truly resonate with you. People who not only accept your authenticity, but celebrate it. Relationships built on mutual respect, support, and genuine connection. At this point, it is important to remember that letting go does not mean closing your heart. It does not mean becoming insensitive or stopping loving. On the contrary, it means loving from a more authentic place, without expectations, without attachments that limit you. Jung said that true love can only flourish when both people are in touch with their own essence. And by letting go, you give yourself the opportunity to reach that level of connection. The universe, as Jung explained, is in constant dialogue with us. Synchronicities, those moments when everything seems to align, are a sign that you are on the right path. And when you release what no longer serves you, you open the door for these synchronicities to occur more frequently. It could be an unexpected opportunity, a revealing conversation, or even a deep sense of peace that fills you completely. These are the ways the universe tells you you are doing the right thing, and although this path requires courage, I assure you it is worth it, because when you choose to let go, you are not just releasing something that no longer serves you. You are reclaiming your power. You are remembering that you are the creator of your life, that every decision you make has the potential to bring you closer to your deepest purpose. Imagine for a moment what your life would be like if you allowed yourself to fully let go. Think about the space you could create, the energy you could regain, the dreams you could pursue. This is not an act of loss but of gain. It is an act of reconnection with your essence, with that place within you that has always known what is best for you. In the end, letting go is not about the other person. It is about you, about your ability to trust the process, to listen to your intuition, and to align yourself with what truly resonates with you. Carl Jung showed us that true transformation does not happen outside, but within. When you allow yourself to live from that place of authenticity, you realize there is nothing to fear because everything you need to be happy is already within you. So today, I invite you to reflect. What are you ready to let go of? What could you gain if you dared to free yourself from what no longer serves you? This is your moment to step into your authenticity, to trust the process, and to allow the universe to guide you toward what you truly need. Remember, the act of letting go is not an end. It is a new beginning. It is the first step toward a fuller, more authentic life, more in tune with your purpose. And although the path may seem uncertain, trust that every step is leading you towards something far greater than you can imagine. When you choose to let go, you not only free yourself, but you also send a powerful message to the universe. You are ready for what you truly deserve. Letting go is not an act of weakness. It is an act of courage. It is declaring that your peace, your authenticity, and your purpose are more important than any attachment keeping you tied to the past. And in that moment, something shifts. You begin to notice how everything around you starts to align, how the weight you carried transforms into a lightness that propels you forward. Carl Jung taught us that each of us has within us the power to create a life in harmony with our truth. That power does not lie in external things or in the relationships we try to control. It lies in our ability to release what does not serve us and open ourselves to what the universe has in store for us. And that, dear listener, is one of the deepest transformations you can experience today. I invite you to reflect on your own life. What are you carrying that no longer belongs to you? What relationships, fears, or beliefs are holding you back? Take a moment to close your eyes. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what could I gain if I decided to let go? The answer may surprise you. It may inspire you to take a step into the unknown. But trust in that step. It will be the beginning of something extraordinary.